Welcome to the Art of Leverage. My name is Tiffanie Kellog, and I'm so very excited to be joined today by Douglas. Greetings. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. How you doing?
I am enjoying a little bit of dry weather here in the Tampa Bay area, though the rain, I think, is coming. How are things going for you?
Same. I mean, I'm in Washington, D.C., so the weather is great. I was actually thinking about going out today, but then I've been stuck in meetings all day in the house.
It does make it hard sometimes. We can Zoom all across the
I'm
world, and so the
telling
meetings
you,
can go all day.
all day, so I'm going to force myself to leave the house in a few minutes. I'm working in my home office, today.
Gotcha. So tell us a little bit about what you do. Tell us about your business.
Yeah, so I'll give you a quick history. I got into the financial service industry when I was 24 years old, waiting table at IHOP, and was an IHOP waiter, and somebody introduced me to the financial service industry, and I got involved, and I started working. I got all my licenses to be a financial advisor. And then as the years went on, I started realizing, you know what, every human that I meet with wants to build wealth. And I've never met anyone that wanted to be broke. So I'm like, but what I'm teaching, I don't know, what I'm learning from the industry, I don't know if that's the wealth building tool, because when I go back and I look at everyone that has been around, especially families and business owners here in America, I realize a lot of them, when the market crashes, they lose money. When things happen, they lose, and nobody's helping them. So I say, you know what, I need to do something different. And sometimes I meet with a family and they're like, Douglas, we really love what you're talking about. We really want to save, but we have no money. We're in so much debt. So that got me thinking I need to figure a way to change my practice. And I found a way to help my clients find money in places that they're throwing money away unknowingly because they don't know they're doing it. And unnecessarily we could fix it. And then I started realizing there's like some areas that people throw money away. The way they pay their mortgage, the way they pay taxes, the way they contribute to a qualified plan, the way they make contribution to their children's college education fund, and finally, the way they make major capital purchase. So those 5 areas, I started seeing that millions of dollars are being transferred away unknowingly because they don't know they're doing it. So we have to figure a way to fix it for them. And that changed my whole practice. And today we're able to scale better. And it's so funny because people call me a wealth strategist because, I just use common sense approaches instead of the traditional invest here, because most people don't know what they're investing in. When I meet someone and they say, oh, I'm already investing in this, I say, okay, how much return are you getting? I don't know. So one thing I always say is this: whenever money leaves your hand, either you're spending it or you're saving it, right? And if you're saving it, most people save in either in a bank or some other financial institution. Well, I call that you're loaning money to those people.
Yeah.
So if you're loaning money to someone, how much interest are you charging them for the benefit of them using your money? Because that's what everybody's using.
Yeah.
So you don't know what you're earning. Why would you loan some money to somebody and you don't know what you're getting back? Makes no sense.
No, it doesn't. I know it's always one of those interesting things at the time of year when it's tax returns and people are like, oh yeah, I'm getting all this money back. And I'm like, you just loaned the government all that money. I'm like, my goal is to pay a little bit of taxes each year. As long as it's 3 figures, I'm okay with that. Let me pay the government every year. I never want a return. I always want to owe them money because I don't want them to have borrowed my money.
Exactly.
Not pay the interest.
And people don't think about that because they're so excited about a refund, not realizing all you're doing is giving them your money. They hold it for a year to make more money for themselves, and then they come back and give you back a little bit. So yeah, you're right about that. That's definitely something that a lot of folks don't think about. And that's why wealthy people find ways to minimize their tax liability. They don't pay taxes. Even Warren Buffett said it. He said, I wish I paid the same amount of taxes that my secretary pays. Right.
I'm sure he pays a lot more.
Well, because so with that too, that's a conversation because wealthy people don't take income. So when you don't take income, you don't pay income tax. It's when you receive income, then you pay income tax. That's why Trump only pays $750. Most people didn't understand. He doesn't take income. You know, that's why you have business entities and different ways to structure your life where you are set up a different way from everyone else. But that's something that we teach, you know, to get people's mindset different, especially business owners. So one thing I do in coaching, I coach a lot of business owners how to restructure their business. You got to think about protecting your business, so somebody could sue you and take it. And the family is a business. You know, there's the president and the vice president, or CEO and the CFO, and the children are the employees of the family business.
I love it.
Yeah, so that's what we teach a lot of families, how to make sure you're protecting everything you have from lawsuits and different things.
Gotcha. So who are amazing clients for you? Who do you love to work with?
Well, one thing I look for is someone that's serious about their finances, that's responsible, and is friendly. Those are three things I look for. So when I ask for referrals from my customers, I always tell them these are the three things I look for in a client. They got to be serious, they got to be responsible, and they got to be friendly. You know, those are important to me because I don't want to work with someone, they're not friendly. I'm not interested in doing business with them. You know, so those are if that person comes, we could work with them. But then, of course, when we flip it to, you know, the income part, we're able to, because of the way I've been structured myself and the things I've been doing, I train a lot of financial advisors. You know, we have a lot of them in my company that I train, I mentor and help. But most importantly, so today I work with different aspects of clients. We have clients that make less than 30,000 a year. We're okay with that. We could help them because one thing that we do is help families become debt-free and business owners become debt-free and build wealth. Because at the end of the day, if you have a lot of debt and somebody's telling you to just pay off your debt before they do anything, then you can't build wealth because you've been programmed to pay off the debt first. So what we teach is we help you become debt-free and build wealth at the same time. And one of the programs that we offer is a system that we help families pay off all their debt, including student loans, credit card, mortgages, car payment, without them spending any additional money that they're currently spending, and pay it off in less than 9 years. So many people teach you to pay off your mortgage in half the time by making extra payment to your house. I teach something different. Don't make extra payment. I don't want you making extra payment. That's money that you could be using to build wealth. But in fact, I'm still going to pay it off for you. I'll still show you how we pay it off without you using your money to do it.
It's interesting. I was having a conversation with a gentleman just last week, and he was talking about, you know, how quickly am I paying down my mortgage? And I'm like, when it's due, because I'm like, I have such a low interest rate. I'm like, I can put my money other places and get more value and get more return than if I'm paying the mortgage down. Now, the interest rates are going back up. So if they're, you know, back in the day, 20%, it does make lots of sense. But if we're locked in at a couple percentage points.
Yeah, so think about it, you know, and you're right. At the end of the day, when it's all said and done, the interest rate, when you borrow money from a bank, right, they base it off of your credit and your income, and they give you a loan based on your income and your credit. And they ask you, how many years do you want this loan for? You say 30 years. They say, okay, take your time, don't rush, and pay us for the next 30 years. A lot of people start counting the bank's money. One thing I always say, stop counting somebody else's money. They loaned you their money so you could have this house that you want to live in. Why are you in a hurry to pay it off? Because banks make money loaning money out. They don't make money keeping money. So if you pay off your mortgage next week, guess what they're going to do? They're going to take that money, loan it out to somebody else. And banks have every right to take your dollar and loan it to 7 to 10 different people and make quadruple amount of money. So I'm never in a hurry to pay off a mortgage. In fact, what I do, especially with my money, I don't want to use my money to pay off a mortgage. I'm going to stretch it out the longest time, pay the lowest amount of payment, take the difference in the money to continue building wealth for my future Douglas. Because future Douglas is looking at me today and saying, Douglas, please make the right decision today, because I need to enjoy this lifestyle that you're enjoying right now in the future, or even better.
Awesome. I love it. Speaking of the future, what do you see as the future for you and your business over the next 5-10 years? What's that vision look like for you?
And, you know, as long as I'm alive and God keeps keeping me going, that's very important. The future, I mean, I say it's very bright for me. We have so much stuff that we're working on, with my team. I have a bunch of ebooks coming out. My first book, Creating Generational Wealth, What the Super Wealthy Know That You Need to Know, came out in 2014. Now we're writing, I just finally finishing up the second book, which is kind of like a sequel for the first book. So, and in this second book, we're going to talk about how we continue the story from the first book about a family that took the wealth, the young guy, the great grandchild that took the family wealth and now quadrupled it. Because at the end of the day, we all work hard for our money. We do everything we've been told to, we build this wealth. But the last thing you want is one family member blows the wealth or marry the wrong person that comes in and cleans out the wealth. So I talk about how to properly structure your family to have a trust on it. People have heard of different types of trusts. There's over 80 different types of trusts in America. And we talk about the right one to use to create that generational wealth and keep the wealth in the family forever.
Awesome. Excellent. And now I know, so you got the books, and you mentioned a little bit about your team. Tell us about your team currently, and are you growing?
Yeah, definitely. So, man, I have a number of companies. I have a trucking company. I have a real estate investment firm that we use for investing in different aspects of real estate, but also financial services, which is my bread and butter. So that we're growing that massively now. We're working on ways to help women, especially in the African American community, in the Spanish community, all the different communities that don't look at financial services. Right? Because a lot of, especially I'm from West Africa, Nigeria, a lot of African women come in, they want to be nurses, even though they hate the work, they hate being a nurse, but they have to do it because they see other people doing it and they feel, oh, I could do that. But we want to say, listen, instead of just being a nurse, why don't you check out financial services and start learning about money and start teaching the other people in the community? Because America, I love this country. I mean, it's a country that opened up the door for me to do a lot of stuff. America makes money off of taxes. That's why they keep the borders open. I don't care what any politicians say on social media, on TV, they make money off of taxes. And which is great, because at the end of the day, that tax dollars is what's keeping us protected in America, where 70% of the budget is spent on what? Defense. So there's a lot of wealth in this country. Everybody in the world want to come into America for a reason, because America has a lot of resources, and because a lot of countries are jealous of the amount of wealth that's in America, they want to come in and take. So America is smart. There's business, whoever created this business strategy of opening up the borders for the world to come in legally, man, because when you come into America legally and you're doing the work, you're working, you got to pay taxes. When you die, you got to pay taxes. So by the time the foreigners figure out the system, they're already 30 years deep in the system. And if they die before the system, before they figure it out, the government takes 70% of their wealth.
Come on, the more the merrier, right?
So that's what we teach. So we're teaching folks a different way of looking at the system, understanding the system you're in, learning the rules to the money game, and then applying it. Just like, Trump said it best. He said, listen, all I'm doing is following the tax laws. I'm not doing anything illegal. I'm following the tax laws. So there are some tax laws. If you follow it, you could legally minimize your tax liability, which is why you got to have the right structures. You could have the biggest business, but when you die and your business is not properly structured, you're going to give the government all that wealth. And if you're not properly structured, things could sit in probate court forever. Yeah, a lot of people think about those things.
They're like, oh, when I pass, it'll go to my kids. Well, there's more to it than that. So it is so important for us to really have the experts in our realm to let us know, here's the way to do it the right way.
That's right. That's right.
I know we've talked a little bit about business. I do also like to subscribe to the philosophy of work hard, play hard. So what is play for you? What do you like to do for fun?
Man, that's what I call the lifestyle, right?
I almost asked you about that earlier. I was like, oh, he talked about the future and the lifestyle. do I ask about the fun first or the future first? And I went with future first, but we came back to the lifestyle. So tell us
Right.
about your lifestyle that you love.
And so I'm not that financial advisor that's going to tell you to cut down your lifestyle so you could save money. I don't do that. I want you to enjoy your lifestyle. I want you to do the things that gives you joy. Because at the end of the day, if you don't have joy, you're not going to be able to give your family, the love that they deserve. So I want you to enjoy your lifestyle. You already work hard every day for your money. So you gotta do the things that you love. I love traveling. I love spending time with my kids, doing the things that makes me happy and gives my children joy. So that's the thing. You just gotta, but the most important thing is to make sure that no matter what happens, if I live 10 years, 20 years, I want to keep enjoying the lifestyle. But if I don't make it, my kids and children's children will continue to live in the same lifestyle that I've already created for them. So I have things in place to make sure no matter what, every dollar that I spend today, that dollar will be replenished when I finally leave this world.
Gotcha. So what do you like to do? What are some of those fun activities?
Man, it varies. When, like I just came back from Cabo, so me and my wife, we did the parastate, like the sky, whatever, where you give your life to a
Yeah,
rope.
I think parasailing.
Right. you give away and you're hoping that the rope don't break. You're there, so just doing things, that normally you wouldn't do on your own, but you go somewhere, you go on a resort, you go somewhere and you enjoy it. And I was able to go to Ireland, never been there before, got to visit the Guinness, where I don't drink alcohol, but it was good to see how, the museum for the alcohol Guinness that they produce over there.
I've heard it's fabulous. I actually have a puppy. His name is Guinness. We do drink beer. And so we have Guinness and Harper because they look like a black and tan, which is a mixture of Guinness and Harp's beer. So
Nice.
I've heard I don't like Guinness myself.
I know most people don't, but they drink it.
I've heard it's much better over there, apparently, the beer than you can get here in the United States.
Yeah. I mean, America, waters down everything to make it available for everyone else, so.
I remember when I went to Italy when I was young when I went, like 20s, early 20s. And I'm like, the wine is so much better there because if they send it here, they got to put all this junk in it. And I'm like,
Yeah.
They get some things good here in America, but sometimes it's like, yeah, let's go there. So what made you decide to go to Ireland? Why Ireland?
So, with the companies I do business with, so they have what they call incentive trips, all expense paid trip. And I'm a big believer in using other people's money. So if they're going to pay for it, why not? So,
I love it. I love it.
I wouldn't spend my money to go to Ireland, but they did. So I went.
Gotcha. Love it. Okay. So let me ask, if people are watching this and they want to get in touch with you to say, hey, how can you help me and my family create this? And or for those of you watching, because I know you're also a speaker. We didn't talk a lot about that, but I know because when we were checking you out on LinkedIn, I'm like, oh, we have some speaker friends in common. And so share with the audience how they can learn more about you, how they can get in touch with you.
Yeah, definitely. So I have a site they could go to. It's called Build Wealth with Douglas. Very simple. Build Wealth with Douglas. Go on there.com. Go on there and you're going to see different tabs, different links, that you could book a meeting. Pick whichever one makes sense to what you're looking for. We have different categories on there. And then, you could tap into that and some of them will take you to my website. You could also, if you want me to come speak or whatever the case might be, you could book a session. And based on what it is your person is looking for, we have also some free meetings that they could book a 60-minute free session with me as well. And I get to understand what's going on in their world before we recommend anything. Because it's always good to know what is going on with somebody's financial. Because I'm not that financial guy that's just going to say, hey, bring me your money, let me invest it for you. I don't do that. I need to understand what's going on in your whole financial picture first to see where the holes, what I call the leaky bucket. Because a lot of us have a bucket or financial bucket. The question is, what are the wealth destroyers in your financial bucket? like taxes, what happens, how much of your money is going to taxes. For every dollar you earn, 40% goes to taxes. Interest rate, how much debts do you have? How are you attacking that? Because the banks are very serious about taking your money. So we can look at those things and help you with that.
Yeah, excellent. Well, the last thing I want to ask you about, and I know we touched on them briefly, but I know you've got some books coming out. So tell us about those, please.
Yeah, so I have a series of books. So my first book was Creating Generational Wealth. So wrote that. It was great. We had a lot of great reviews. So I didn't want to just write a second book just for whatever. So it's taking me so long to come up. And I'm glad I waited too, because I have more knowledge now about that topic. So now we have the second book coming. I kind of have a cheat sheet here. Creating Generational Wealth 2 is coming out. We should be finishing it up this week, actually. And then I have other books that I've put together, preserving generational wealth. So some of them are going to be ebooks, how to preserve that generational wealth that you've built. We also have other book, Creating Generational Wealth in Self-Multiplying Legacies. So basically, there's so many people that hit me up from all over the world asking me, how can I make more money? So I wrote a book on how to do that while you're in your country, because the world is smaller now with social media. You could make money in all kinds of currencies. So we're going to talk about that. And then we have another ebook coming up called For Truckers, people trying to get into trucking business, because I own a trucking company with my business partner. And I sat down with him because I know what he went through in his first trucking business. And today, everybody want to be a trucker. And so many people have lost so much money getting into the industry. There's so many lies, especially on social media. People, and you gotta be careful what you see on social media, right? So what I'm doing with him, I sat down, interviewed him, and he shared a lot of knowledge on some of the mistakes that he made when he got into the industry, how he got ripped off. I mean, they were about to make with his business partners and they ripped them off. But today I'm sharing the experience, how we started the trucking business, what you need to start a trucking company if you want to, and where to find business, because the country is moving, truckers are moving every day. So it's a huge industry. So, I always like to share things based on my personal experience so that you don't make the same mistake that I made, because there's only two ways you learn in life: personal experience and other people's experience. Other people's experience is the easiest way to learn. Personal experience is the hardest way to learn. So you learn.
That does make so much sense. And I'm assuming that as they come out, if we go to your website, we'll be able to find it.
All in the Build Wealth with Douglas. That's why we created that site, Build Wealth with Douglas. So anything wealth, you can see it on there.
Awesome. Well, Douglas, I want to say thank you so very much for your time and being here and sharing your wealth of knowledge.
I appreciate it. Nice meeting you, of course.
Yes. And happy networking to all y'all. And we'll see you soon for our next episode.